You're left with 40 years of life. And in this 40 years of life that you have, 1/3 of your life will go in sleep. That takes away 13 years of your life. You're left with 27. Another 1/3 of your life will go on the day-to-day work, your profession. That takes away another 13 years of your life. It leaves you with 14 years. Any person who lives in a city, the daily chores that we do from the time we wake up, brushing our teeth, coffee, and reading the newspaper for 50 minutes on the pot to find out all the scandals in the world, and then a hurried breakfast, and then the first coffee break at office, second coffee break at office, an extended business lunch, and an evening tea with snacks, and that the entire cycle continues. 4 hours every day will go away only on your daily chores. Takes away another 7 years of your life. Leaves you with 7 years. Anybody who lives in a city travels at least for an hour a day. That's the minimum travel time. And you invest at least 1 hour every day on entertainment, on television, on internet, whatever it is. I know it's more, but I'm keeping it 1 hour. Which means traveling and entertainment will take away 2 hours per day on an average. Takes away another 4 years of your life. You know what it leaves you with? If you are 30 and if you'll kick the bucket at 70, it leaves you with 1,095 days left to live. 1,095 days left to die. And I have not incorporated time for exercise, meditation, and a lot of other things. And I know many of you don't sleep for 8 hours, but you work for 14 hours a day. I have not put actuals, because if I put all the actuals, most of you should have died yesterday. Where is the time to lose? Where is the time to waste? Where is the time to sit in front of television and watch a mega serial? Day after day for 2 years, 3 years. 2 years ago, that man took a knife and started walking. 2 years later, he's still walking, and you keep watching. As if you have endless time to waste. People say killing time. Time is killing you. And there is so much we have consumed from the world. Man is a product of huge investment. It's not like the animals, it's not like the birds, it's not like the plants. Man is a product of huge investment. All the yogis and the sages have spent years of their life in penance to unfold the spiritual realities to you, for you to understand life the way you've understood. Every scientist, without raising their head, have given their entire life in laboratories for discoveries and inventions with which you are experiencing the comfort of life, including sailing in the ship. Scholars have given their entire life to create language, subjects, knowledge, communication, mediums of expression, because of which we are able to live as an integrated society. Every government in the world gives you enormous subsidy for you to be enjoying the basic privileges that you experience in life. Then your parents, then your teachers, your friends, your relatives. So many people have invested collectively to create the you that you are. And for all that we have consumed, is there any scope for any one of us to live our life within the parenthesis of me, mine, myself, my bank balance, my home, my 2-bedroom apartment, my recognition, my award, my position? There's no place for that. I'm not speaking. Something within me is crying, and it's coming out as words. Here I was as a software consultant, dreaming of what car I can drive, what bank balance can I have, where can be my villa with which I could live. And success came to me as if it was waiting for me. And I was 29. 1994, very few people in India had a full-fledged Oracle team in software development. 1994 had a team of 38 MCAs, engineers, BTechs working. And I felt this was life. My life was made. Just then a friend of mine, my first boss, Peter Christian, wanted to meet his girl with whom he had a relationship and it fell apart. And she was now married to somebody for 3 years. Typical religion problem. One of the respects with which I go back from Rotary, that I'll tell the world is, in Rotary I saw no religion. And that's one of the greatest pride I'm taking from here. If there is some salvation that is required in the world where we are killing each other in the name of religion, long live and horizontally and vertically let Rotary grow and bring everybody into a fold where we can sit together not knowing whether the guy next to us is a Muslim or a Christian. It doesn't matter. We are just children of one God. But that's not the world reality outside. Typical Brahmin Christian religion came in between. And this woman was forced to get married to somebody else. And 3 years into a marriage, unable to handle the emotions of a marriage, she jumped from the terrace of a building and ended her life. My friend lost his friend. It didn't do anything to him. He went ahead and got married to somebody else. But I don't know. My heart has not stopped crying from that day. Even today. Has not stopped crying. Somebody in the corridor asked me, can you tell me how to come out of hurt? Some mother in the corridor asked me, can you just tell me, my son who's so lazy, how to empower him? Somebody wanted to know the science of meditation. And I was just sitting and thinking, probably beyond my 20-minute speech and this 45-minute speech, I wish there was a place where I could sit and just answer the questions of people. Something within me still cries. And this speech is just an expression of that. We lost a human being because she did not know how to live life. And there are millions like those. Some of those get rescued by angels like her. Some of them will be lifted by people like you. Thanks to Rotary. I have my friends in Chaitali and Dheeraj Suranas who still walk with a limp because they are polio affected and their children will not be. But there is a much larger world and a few of us cannot go and lift the world. It needs all of us. All of us to think way beyond me, mine, myself. A bull works its entire life and feeds a family of 5 people. A horse works on a day-to-day basis, pulling the cart, and it feeds a family. You and me as a human being, if all that we can do is live a life because of which my wife, my children, my in-laws, my sister, my brother, only their life can be taken care. Sorry to put it so blunt, it's nothing different from a sub-animalistic existence. Because animals are able to do that. It doesn't require then your chartered accountancy and doctorates and engineering qualification and all the investment that has gone into the making of you if our life also is confined within that limited circle. Somehow I couldn't resist. I felt guilty going back and sitting in front of a computer. Knowing very well a human being, and she was a postgraduate B.Ed, not some illiterate woman who did not know anything about life. She was a teacher. She was a postgraduate B.Ed. and she couldn't handle the emotions of her marriage and she ended her life. I'm just thinking, if any one of us were there to tell her, darling, unconditionally we love you. We are there for you. Just because you could not get a relationship right in life, death isn't an answer. Removing the head for headache is not a solution. Because there are problems in life, ending your life isn't a solution. Somehow I ask myself, what sort of an education system that we have which teaches us science but not science of living? It teaches us history, when it should be teaching us how to create history. In fact, that is what I wish the Institute and these congregations achieve. Not only recognizing the past presidents and the past governors and all the past international presidents on what. I remember sitting with Abdul Kalam recently in inaugurating a university in Mysore, and this is how my talk started. This talk is not about people from the dais because their glory is from the past. This talk is about all of you because the glory of the future will come from you. Somewhere, somebody sitting here will create the glorious years for the world through Rotary. It's about you. We have to be taught how to create history. And I said, what am I doing with computers? I think somebody else can develop all these things. So I gave up everything and started teaching people. But it's only when I went into the class and I realized a small percentage of people don't know how to live life. They end their life. A large population don't know how to live life. They keep surviving, not knowing what to do. Inability to actualize and maximize your potential. 51% of Indian population is women. And we don't even think we have to provide them adequate education. It's a crime if they even strive for financial independence. They are expected to live as a shadow of a man. 51% of Indian population is women. And if we don't lift them, we cannot lift India. And if you cannot lift India and China, you can't lift the world. The point here is not about my life. The point here is I needed an experience to realize the power and the potential that is sleeping inside every human being, which only when it's given an expression, not only it transforms you from within, but the transformation it brings to the world outside is phenomenal. And suddenly you look back and look at your life and realize that your life has not been a meaningless existence. Your coming was an unnoticed phenomenon. Your living and going should not be an unnoticed phenomenon. There must be something very significant, not for the sake of her, not for the sake of him, not for the sake of them. This is your accountability to God. As it's so beautifully put in Bible, when talents are given to you, and if you don't use it, it will be taken away from you. However, when a talent is given to you and you use it, more will be given. Somewhere, we feel accountable to a financier who gives us 1 crore of rupees and we feel accountable to it. You are given a responsibility for a year to hold a chair and you feel accountable to it. God has chosen to give you the life of a human being. And you got to be accountable to him. Again, one more time with the kerchief, something else. One of you come and gift me this handkerchief. And I look at it and feel nothing great about it. And I hurl it down. I haven't abused the gift. I have abused the giver of the gift. Abusing the gift is abusing the giver of the gift. Cherishing the gift is cherishing the giver of the gift. This life that you have as a human being is God's gift to you. And in the way you live this human life, you're expressing your gratitude on a daily basis to Him, saying that, thank you, God, of all the things you could have created me as, you chose to create me as a human being, and I'll make my life count. And the way you make your life count is identifying yourself with a cause larger than yourself. Ordinary human beings. I heard that quote day before yesterday. Rotary takes ordinary people and provides them with extraordinary opportunities. Truly, ordinary people in history became extraordinary people only when they identified themselves with a cause larger than themselves. A very ordinary, selfish barrister who was convinced India should be ruled by the Britishers. He believed Indians lack leadership capabilities. In a way, he was right. He is still right. So he felt it is better that the Britishers rule us. Because the sort of infrastructure Britishers could create in India, even today we struggle to create it in India because we lack leadership. But somehow when he was living in South Africa, happily settled to earn in a foreign currency of rands, when he was thrown on that railway platform, he asked himself this question: if this indignity that I have suffered as an individual is so hurting, what should an entire nation be going through? In that instant, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi identified himself with a cause larger than himself, and the world got to experience from then onwards a Mahatma Gandhi. Ordinary people, when they identified themselves with an extraordinary cause which was larger than themselves. Agnes, the school teacher, did not even believe she ever had the capability to be the headmistress of the school. And that ordinary frail school teacher, in seeing a man die in the streets of Kolkata, without any attention, asked herself this question: there are enough forums to provide dignity to those who are living. Why there is no foundation which can provide dignity to those who are dying? And she decided she will do something about it. In that moment, Agnes identified herself with a cause larger than herself, and the world got to experience a Mother Teresa. An atheist Narendra, liberated by the experiences he experienced with Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, resolved that the wisdom I experienced, I should share it with the world. And Narendra, in identifying himself with a cause larger than himself, became Swami Vivekananda. Siddhartha, who could not settle for the comfort of a palace life, of a prince, but identified himself with the sufferings of the world and said, I will do my part, became Gautama Buddha. I'm not guaranteeing because you identify yourself with a cause larger than yourself, you will become somebody historic, but you will live a historic life. That's guaranteed. Whether your name will enter the history books or not is different, but the life you live will be truly historic. There's only one way to live a human life. 50, 70, 80, 90 years after you're dead and gone. Somebody out there in the world should continue to benefit out of the life that you have lived and gone. If it means planting a sapling that will grow into a tree and live 75 years after you're gone, do that. If all that it means is providing education, I have great admiration for Mother Teresa. I have always revered her work. But let's accept a fact. Charity keeps a poor person poor. Charity never lifts a poor person out of his poverty. Every beggar that has been fed remains a beggar. Every person that you have gone and said, you don't have to work for it, I will provide you food, will wait tomorrow for another person to come and provide food. Charity keeps a poor person poor. Education and employment alone has the capability to lift a poor person out of his poverty. So if there is any charity you shall engage yourself with, it has to be constructive charity. I will educate you so that you can become something in life. I'll build organizations, I'll build industries, and thereby provide employment opportunities so that you can earn the bread for yourself and your family. You can lift people. But if, I'll put it this way, if you keep giving something for nothing, those people will maintain that status quo always in life. But when you start giving something for something, that something can be anything. For example, all the children education that I personally take care, I tell them I need merit. Because I work to earn my rupee. Now you work to earn your marks and we will exchange rupee with marks. But you have to show me. Now my family is in great difficulty, can you help? I'll provide employment. I'll find infinities who can give you employment. But you should be willing to sweat. Because there's no other way to create money in the world. Money gets created only through human sweat. Whether he donates it or she donates it or you collect it, somewhere some human being is sweating to create it. And the world that receives it should know its value. And it will know its value only through constructive contribution, which is through education and anything. In fact, resolve to build your organization, which is right now employing 28 people, to an organization of 100 people, and say, I am going to be a breadwinner for another 72 families. You're still creating a legacy in the world. Take it on yourself every birthday. Instead of giving a bouquet, and they will receive it with the same speed and keep it at that side. Nobody will even see your bouquet. Give them a rooted plant. In fact, it costs less and it has more life. Give a tulasi plant. Give them a small sapling. Let them plant it somewhere. Let them take care somewhere. And you're creating a legacy. Somewhere in every thought of yours, it should be the 1095 days that I'm left with to live and die will be lived in such a way that every today of mine will in some way contribute to the tomorrow of this world. In some way, every today of mine will be an investment towards a vision that I have for what the world can be. And in this, there are no ordinary people. Ron, in his capacity, can see probably a larger picture and see what can be done. You in your small district in the town can still see things that you alone can see and make a difference. Where you can make a difference, you alone can make a difference. Nobody else can make a difference. So in this, there are no insignificant contributors. So sometimes we put ourselves down by saying, Bill Gates is doing so much, Warren Buffett is doing so much, let them all do. But if each one of you in your individual capacity, you wipe the tears you can wipe. On the eve of Indian independence, Jawaharlal Nehru said, it is true that all of us put together cannot wipe all the tears in the world. But as long as there are tears in the world, shall we keep working wiping them? Can we hold on to that resolve? Today you can be a source of happiness in somebody's life. Today you can extend the touch of love to somebody. What you know, you can share it with others and lift them in the process. Demand more out of yourself. Give away these two words, satisfaction and contentment, from your vocabulary. Never settle for mediocre accomplishments in life. Produce more than what you can consume and share that with the world. Now, I am not a believer who says, with the 1 rupee you have, can you share 10 paise to the world? I am a believer, you have the capacity to earn 1 crore and share 10 lakhs with the world. Why are you settling for less? Demand most and more out of yourself. Actualize your potential and keep expressing in the world outside. I just would like to sum up the whole thing by saying, one, can we engage Rotary by executing certain conventions exclusively for non-Rotarians and empower them and lift them and give them a taste of what Rotary is, and you will be able to spread far and wide much, much faster than what you're doing right now. That growth will be geometric progression. Right now we are only growing in arithmetic progression. 2, can a few of us take it as personal responsibility in the way we live our life and in the way we hold the chair within Rotary, we will be a living role model for others to emulate. Each of our lives will either be an example to the world or a warning to the world. Either the world is going to say, you should be like him, or the world is going to say, don't be like him. One of the two. Adolf Hitler was a warning to the world on leadership. Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King were an example on leadership to the world. Is your life going to be an example or a warning? In every way can you strive to be a living example? Can you identify a balloon for your life, an ideal greater than yourself? There must be a meaning to our life. We cannot afford to live a sub-animalistic existence. There must be a meaning to our life. So you need a balloon, and keep the balloon at the top. Keep the focus on the purpose of your life, and you will not waste time and energy on all the belittling things in life. Bring in a sense of urgency and purpose to your life. 1,095 days left to live, to die. So much we have consumed from the world, so much we need to give back to the world, and there's only so much time that is left. So many places to see, so many music to listen to, so many books to read, so much you need to pursue your spiritual aspirations, so much more you can actualize and maximize your potential. Please put a premium on your time and don't waste your time under any circumstances.